Hi everyone, this is Nadia. I'm an occult specialist that uses spiritual intelligence to empower entrepreneurs into healthy, empowered money story to live a balanced life. Today I want to cover the topic of, do you fear success? Now initially I didn't know what to entitle this topic or what I wanted to say because there is actually so much I want to say about it. We are into the second month of 2021. I celebrated my birthday a few days ago, so I had a lot of downloads and insights on my birthday specifically, and I wanted to cover a lot to do with fear and with herd mentality and with feeling isolated, and this also comes from a conversation with somebody on my team. And it comes from a friend as well. So this isn't a request topic, but it's more to do with me just sharing my 2 cents on fearing success. Okay. What I find one of the hardest things when people come to me, generally they come, maybe they want to improve their lot in life, they want to change their life, they want to reach for the stars, they want to do this, whatever they've got going on in their mind themselves. They have a certain notion of what they come to me with, and that's fine, and that's my job to say, maybe this isn't the issue, this is now the issue, let's work on this instead of working on this, okay? The major issue I find with major issue I find with people is basically 2 things that come into my head. Number 1 is fear generally. It can be fear of failure, it can be fear of success, it can be the fear of so many things. And number 2, of course, is thinking in linear terms. Now, being psychically gifted as a woman who can summon and channel spirits and we work with them, for me, I think it's weird if I don't talk to the spirits. It's just something missing in my life, basically, because I very much go off their consciousness, and they've helped me a lot, and they help people who also work with them. Obviously, it's not just me in the world working with them. And they help people who work with them, and they help people find me in a way that there's no standard marketing or whatever it is that can cover it. Okay. Number 1 is fear. Now, lots of people say, I fear failure, I fear this, I fear that. But in actual fact, what it is they're really fearing success. Now, I knew that personally, and I can tell you from personal experience, whoever's watching this, whether you know me, whether you've subscribed to the channel, or whether you're new just watching this, is that fear is a very real thing. Now, I per se did not fear failure. If I had feared failure, I wouldn't be where I am today. There was a part of me that feared success because I looked around the room and I thought, man, okay, there's a part of me that's very comfortable knowing that I might be the best person in this room. Now, the best person doesn't mean that I think I'm the best looking or the smartest or the most intelligent. Probably in capacity is probably what I meant. But the problem is that as much as you're comfortable in a place that is comfortable, for lack of a better term, you're not growing, you're not elevating to where you need to be. You need to go where the stakes are higher. My problem is I feared that if I grew myself to a certain point, I won't be able to relate to most people in this world, which, well, I'm there. You know, I look at most people and there is a sense of isolation and loneliness, and it's not a loneliness because I don't have people that love me or I don't have people in my life. It's not that. When you start doing the internal work, there is always a sense of loneliness when you know too much. The less you know in this world, the happier you are. I'm telling you, ignorance is bliss. There used to be a certain point of my understanding and my mentality many years ago, even if I could think maybe 10 years ago, where I could assimilate into normal society. I didn't like it, but I could assimilate into it. Now, I don't want to be around anything that's trite, it's mundane, it's menial. I don't have time for it because I don't care for it. Yeah, if somebody wants to call me and tell me they had a glass of wine, or they want to tell me that they found a new boyfriend, or I'm happy to sit and talk random stuff with people. I like having fun. Or they went to a supermarket and they couldn't find a mango, so they got a bag of apples and kiwis and came home. Just fun stuff. But if your stuff is mundane and you try and strike up a conversation with me and there's no conversation, no, you just don't get any of my time. That's what it is, because it's not going anywhere. And you need to be protective of your time, because in part of that fear of success, there is also a sense of, if you are doing the internal work, you are affording yourself in a place where, honest to God, people don't belong in that vibration. You need to understand who belongs in your vibration and who doesn't. And you do that by developing yourself, developing your skills, your character, your discernment all the time. Discernment is a very key word that I give people often, because when you cannot discern right from wrong, you are lost. You are on dunya, which is world, which is a worldly problem. When you can't discern things, you can't see what's right and wrong right in front of you, it's because there's a lack of 3 types of maturities. There's emotional maturity, there's spiritual maturity, and there's mental maturity. I can go into other types of maturities as well, but I don't have the bloody time for it today. Now, when I feared a certain type of success, I used to think, what if I get to a point that I can't enjoy the normal pleasures of life? What if I've outgrown this or I've outgrown that? I'm gonna lose friends. And I'm coming to that in round 2 of what I'm saying. And guess what ended up happening anyway? I ended up growing. I had nothing in common with people. It's not because they're bad people or anything. I just had nothing in common with them anymore. Let's put it this way, everybody has a journey, and I am not gonna sit here on camera and try and dictate people's life journey of what they want to do or what they don't want to do. If somebody isn't willing to grow from their circumstances, they're not willing to grow upwards, and you are, they're by default, with the law of oscillation, there's going to be a vibrational mismatch. They get dropped out of your life. I've been dropped out of people's lives. Maybe I didn't move fast enough, or maybe they were on a different timeline. That's okay. People have cut me out, blocked me. I couldn't care less. Vice versa. That doesn't mean I think they thought I was bad, or I think people are bad. No, we just got our own journeys. So fear of success is a very imperative thing. Why? Because if you end up fearing success, you fear your own power. There's still parts of me that I'm still healing, so I can't sit here and I can sit here on camera and say, oh yes, I'm successful. Yes, I know I am, but there is a certain level that even I wish to reach, and I'm thinking, man, is that possible? And like, I know, like, because I've seen myself psychically there, but I'm thinking, is that really possible for me? And it is. And the more you heal inside. Remember, all things are vibrationally based. Everything is like a vibrational wall. If you want to attract something in your life, you want to receive it, it's a vibrational wall that is stopping you from getting there. There was a lady that said to me that she wanted to meet the right man. I said, you don't meet the right man, you receive the right man. You can meet any man. There's plenty of men in the world. There's plenty of good guys in the world. They're everywhere. They're crawling out of holes. I don't know. I think great men are everywhere. And you can meet so many great men. But the man for you is the man you will receive, because he will see you are the right woman for him, and he won't waste his time to approach you. That's what I said to this lady. She came and got a bracelet from me, and I said, everything works with the internal. Society, this sheep bullshit society teaches you to put emphasis on the external, and that doesn't work. All right. So number 1 is the fear of success. It's the real fear. Oh, there's fear of failure as well. What will people think? People don't think these days, so it doesn't matter what they think, because there's just tumbleweed going around. It's like a dryer with clothes inside the head. There's nothing going. It's like water in the head. Number 2 is something that I find a lot. I don't know if people per se struggle with it when they come to me. Some people do, some people don't. Traditionally, the people that come to me already think like me. They are non-linear, meaning they don't think of past, present, future. They don't think of A, B, C, D. They think of A, goes to E, goes to G, goes to Z, comes back to B, stops at C, flew over to M. If you need to be successful in the world, you need to think on them categories, not A, B, C, D. Yes, steps are very important. All my spirits have taught me steps are very important. But you see, steps are not one of those things that you can't be robotic in steps. The most challenging and dangerous thing that I usually come to find, and I can't work with those type of people, are people who have held down a certain type of job for too long, because it becomes a routine, right? You end up spending too long in an office, and you got no personality. You got the personality of a carrot. Maybe even carrots are more interesting, or a leaf blower. What happens is it dulls your senses. It dulls your sense of adventure, of fun, of spice, of seduction, of naughtiness, of passion, of zest for life. That's not just sexually I'm talking about. It just dulls you as a person. You're just boring. I have this conversation with a friend of mine, and she, ironically, I met her through, she hosts the event. She knows because she watches my channel, so. And I said, you know, people always come and ask, why don't I get sales? It's because you're boring, that's why. It's not because your copy, there's anything wrong with your copy, or blah, blah. I mean, yeah, you can work on that. It's because you're boring. You're not engaging, you're not entertaining. There's no spice. People don't like watching you. You're boring. You talk about the same thing. I'm a mindset marketing coach. I will tell you how to bring in clients. I don't know. This is like Big Bird or Elmo on Sesame Street. Even Cookie Monster has more life. I always say that. It's because you're boring. People don't relate to you. And more than anything in the world, no one's looking to become a client of someone. Okay, yeah, I have clients, but and for a formal term, I call them clients, but to me, they're just they're regular people that come to me for help. They're just people. I talk to them like they're normal because they are. I am clients of people, but even people I pay, yeah, fine, I'm a paying client, but they talk to me like we're on a level. And there's this sense of linear thinking. There is a sense of formality. There is a sense of people being frightened when I go and tell them, when they come and mentor with me or work with me, go do what you think is right. Now it's like, oh my goodness, man. Number one, I don't know what's right. Okay, go back to discernment, right? Because we live in a society that teaches you to be a sheep and follow orders of people. It teaches you what to think and not how to think. That's why I dropped out of university, because I didn't have the time for someone to be a pencil pusher and start telling me this, that. I can go do rituals and receive information. Why do I need to pay for university? What kind of nonsense is this? But not everybody has access to that. And when you have institutional thinking, when you have linear thinking is what I call it, you become limited. There are a lot of things like, I personally love understanding political stuff. I love understanding geoeconomic, geopolitical, all that kind of the interesting country stuff. That's what I call it. But even then, that stuff becomes boring for me. I will explain why. That's intelligence, and that is a higher level of understanding, but from a dunya perspective, from a worldly perspective. That's good, but it's limited. It's not a limitless ocean. It's not something where you receive. It's like you're a translucent pillar through which water flows, which is really the flow of money, so to speak. I'll probably cover that in another video, and I actually have a really cool course called Wealth launching on that very soon. Please stay tuned for it. So now when someone's thinking linear, people make money this very complex thing. Money is the simplest thing on the planet. Why? Because money is just a frequency, nothing else. Money is not real. Yeah, okay, you got banknotes, you've got numbers in your bank. Those numbers aren't even real. It's Phoenician double banking, by the way. Research it, it's Babylonian money magic. Those numbers are not real. You're just moving decimals and binary numbers from one account to another. What's real is precious metals, gold, silver. What's real is what you can hold in your hand. Now, somebody can challenge me and say, well, you know, psychic ability is not tangible. Yeah, it's not, and you're absolutely right, but the results are. And when we use those results, we use that ability, we see the results in our life. I have used it in most areas of my life, and I have results to show for it. My clients have results to show for it. They feel different, they feel empowered, they feel like they're finally in control of life. When you see things too much from a worldly perspective, you get limited. That's what I keep saying to people over and over again. There's a limitation all the time. And then what ends up happening is that let me give you an example. Okay, so someone's creating a program, for instance, online business, because it's just something that comes into my head. So now they're thinking, I need to create a course. Now I need to have shit hot copy. I need to find X amount of money to pay a great copywriter, this, that. Man, even them copywriters are boring. There was a copywriter I fired her on the next day. I said, you don't even know how to write copy. I found that even in my so-called Spartanite liturgy is what I would call it, not from a Christian perspective, but that's what I would address it as. I had to end up using or pouring Spartanite pasta sauce on it, and I don't mean that in a literal but a figurative sense, and it had the charm and charisma. A lot of people, like I'm telling you, it goes back to the boring thing that I've said. They're boring. Nobody wants to engage with you because you're boring, you don't know how to sell. Selling is fun. Selling is not selling is my friend asked me this last night, that how do you have confidence based on what you have spiritually. I said, because I'm cheating people and I'm robbing them if I don't give them my solutions. Imagine someone's really, really suffering with low self-esteem. They're really suffering with confidence issues. They've really got financial issues. They really have stuff. I am cheating them of their life if I don't give them the solution, because they are looking for that solution, and I don't want to be a one-stop disappointment in a long damn list of disappointments. Be like, oh man, I went to Spartanite, she disappointed me too. I don't want to be a disappointment for people. I want to be where the buck stops, the questions stop, and your answers begin, right? So now it comes back to the linear thinking. If you're constantly thinking recursive all the time, first I need to have everything ready, then I need to have it prepared, now I need to sit on camera, I need to look this way, because if I don't look important, people ain't gonna pay me. You know, there's a lot of things. I watch sometimes, I see some Instagram messages and I see some ads, and I can tell these people have spent like 2 hours on their backdrop. I need it to look this way, I need it to be this way, because that's all they have. It's not like they're giving anything of value. It's the same, well, you know, entrepreneurship is really difficult. Yeah, no shit, we know that. Okay, move on, carry on. Then it's like, let me teach you in this free masterclass, but we're bored, man. Whoa. Oh, you've got a pitch, you've got a webinar, you've got a masterclass, you've got a teleseminar. You got anything interesting to say? If you're assembling people, you better damn well have something interesting to say that they come and watch you with. Because some of us, we just tired. Why are you having you even got this account? You have nothing of interest to say to people. You're boring. And that comes into the fear of success. The fear of success, people think the success is a certain way. A man thinks, okay, well, you know, I have to be big, I've got to be strong, I've got to have tattoos in my arms, I've got to have this hot wife next to me, I've got to have this big house, this big car. Brother, you don't need all that to be successful as a man. You need to have the understanding of who you are as a man. But that's already hard enough, because with the way things are going, they want to wipe out all masculinity from all men from this planet. So I have a very special place for a lot of men in my heart, because they are struggling with what's going on at the moment. All men need to focus on is masculinity. They need to, men who are watching this, you need to focus on 3 things. You need to focus on leadership, you need to focus on protection, and you need to focus on providing. That's it. You don't have to focus on anything. Once you've got those covered, then it makes it easier. Once you've got the structure of masculinity covered, then you can go into the esoteric realm, you can go into the spiritual realm, you can say, let me marry the inner feminine. Lots of men hate the feminine. We are trained to hate the feminine. They've trained, and it's worse with men. Women are trained to hate themselves, so we're trained to hate the feminine inside ourselves. Consider it weak, consider it whatever it is. So then men, because they shut off their own emotions, then they consider women weak. You know, when men get all awkward and you sitting there and crying, and they're like, why is she crying? You know, a lot of guys, it's not because you're crying as a woman. What they're upset and angry about is it's triggering them, it's mirroring them, because they have those emotions inside and they're seeing it, and it makes them uncomfortable. Now, when you think linear, everything is rigid. It's going to make you feel uncomfortable all the time. It's like when women come to me in their most masculine posturing, and they're always like, I need to do this, I need to do it like, not do it like a man, but you can hear the way they are. It's like, you can be very, very successful as a lady, but do it like a woman. No thanks. People always used to say it. I said, no, I don't want to do things like a man. I'm not a man. Why do I want to do it? I remember this business event once. I went in a kaftan to the business event. I wore a vest top underneath, because kaftans are notorious. You can see half your bra through it. So I wore a vest top, so I was covered. And I wore some nice flat shoes, and I went with a kaftan. And the looks I got when I entered that room is, you gotta be very brave to sit with people's thoughts. There were thought forms hitting me. Obviously, they didn't know I was psychic when I entered the room. And it was more like, what the fuck is she doing here? Why is she wearing a kaftan? Does she not know this is a business event? Blah, blah. Because, again, it's linear. You have to be a certain way in order to be considered successful. What does success look like? A big house, a big car, an attractive, well-placed spouse. We go vacation in a certain place. We do this. These are the tenets of success. So is it any wonder that people are miserable? Because people are thinking, oh, hell no, man, I don't want to do all that. I just want to be happy. But I'm telling you that you can be financially successful. You can have your dream life, and you can have everything that you want by doing it your way, your style. Success is not defined by other people for you. Success is not linear. That's what I keep saying. Now, when you see things in non-linear time, you are seeing past time and past space. I've had a lot of arguments with my spirits about it, because at the end of the day, I'm still human. And I still see things maybe from a linear perspective where I'm like, yeah, but this, it's in front of me. And they're like, oh my God, man. We can see like 10, 20 years down the road, 5 years down the road. Stop trying to challenge us. One of the major blocks that the elite, the cabal, put on you is they use magic, they talk to spirits, they have the whole world controlled through magic. Why do you think people have become so idiocratic and stupid? And then they have the cheek to go around and put all this stuff in Hollywood movies and tell you, oh, all these spirits are scary, all this is spooky, you need to stay away from it, because God forbid you found out your power, they don't have control over you. And let me tell you something, psychopaths are not interested about following the rules, but they're very damn interested that you follow them. They're very damn interested that you do exactly what they tell you to do, because then they have control over you. Linear thinking is psychopathic control over you. I don't know why I feel to say this on camera, but I feel like one spirit wants to say it through me. Psychopathic control over you is linear thinking. When you think linear all the time, it usually comes from a corporate perspective, and all corporations are draconian in nature. So it's not per se that they're masculine, because even human men are normal. They feel empathy, they feel emotions, they can talk to spirits, they feel whatever, they have sensitivity. The real problem in this world is the suppression of the feminine. The suppression of the feminine equals creativity. Business, what people, and there's a lot of people who want to be successful and work for themselves, but they don't get into it. Why don't they get into it? It's very simple. Because the models of business out there are boring. You have to be this to be considered successful. Even online, you have to be this. You have to do your Facebook Live this way. It's boxed up. It's boring. Nothing else. When I see people, it's the same Facebook group they're promoting. It's the same, I have this cheat sheet. It's the same, download this stuff. Okay, fine. That's a structure. That's a vehicle you're providing it in. But what is the information or the content you are providing? Because it doesn't matter how the water is given to you when you're thirsty. As long as it's in some sort of container, you will hold it and drink it. When you're thirsty, you don't care if you have to drink out of a bucket. You don't care if you have to drink out of a bowl, a cup, a mug, a spoon. You don't care. You're thirsty. You're going to grab it. And information these days is currency. The problem with people is they ain't lying to you. They're sandwiching those lies between. They'll pepper 1 or 2 half-truths and then they'll squeeze the rest with lies like a sandwich. And you eat it up. You're eating it up like you've never seen food in your life. So discernment. Do you really fear success, or is it more along the lines of you know that you have to elevate in your life despite all the external circumstances around you? Everything is vibrational. There is nothing you cannot bring into your life if you use vibrational energy, and I'm living proof of that, and I teach it very well. So this is a round I wanted to cover, more to do with fear, more to do with vibrational success, more to do with linear thinking. And most people, when they have that linear thinking, they're thinking, I'm too paranoid, I'm too afraid. People won't like me anymore. If I don't post myself flexing with a car, with a hot woman, with a hot man, or my home, or how much money I've made, I made this much amount of money. I'm like, but are you happy? Okay, you made X amount per month, per year. Okay, but are you happy? No, the answer is always no. Because people measure their happiness in a bank balance instead of measuring it by the joy that their spirit feels inside. When you have true joy in your life, there is nothing bigger than that. There's nothing bigger than peace in this world. There is no amount of money that can buy you peace. Yes, money can keep you off the street. Money gives you a good home. Alhamdulillah, money gives you good food. Money gives you a lot of things, but it can't. It's like it's saying money can buy you a very nice bed and a mattress, but it can't buy you sleep. And that's part of having a powerful money story, is using money as a tool in your life, but not making it your God. All right? So I hope that's given people clarity in terms of the fear of success and linear thinking, and also learn to think in multiple timelines, in multiple dimensions, and get out of this rut that you need to do ABC before, D, E, F, or G manifests. You can bring that D, E, F minus doing the whole ABCD, as long as you know that when things come into your life, they ain't gonna be perfect, but you gotta run with them with the way they are. All right, Like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will be back with you very soon. Take care. Bye.